Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of Beyond the Airbrush. And as every episode, this one is also very special because today I am with Stephen Pardo, aka Captain Pardo from the SN Battle Reports team. Hello, Stephen.
Hello, my friend. Hello.
How are you?
All good, all good. Busy, busy as always. Speeding everywhere I can to make sure that I can do as many things as possible. But glad we're finally sitting down together and doing this episode because it's been a few months, maybe maybe a month and a half trying to
Yeah,
get us there to record.
yeah, but well, we
Life
need
gets in the way.
some several planets aligned, like
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Uh, I had trouble to pick the flag because actually Gibraltar is uh, f- belong to the UK,
Yep.
but geographically, obviously, it's in near Spain, and
Yeah.
but yeah, definitely. So you're from England. Your main passion is the Horus Heresy, and I mean that's not a surprise or a big disclosure. We can find you on Instagram, either your personal account, Captain Pardo, or the
Yep.
SN account. But
Hmm.
don't take it uh, in a bad way. But Instagram is more about like an information platform about what
Hmm.
you do on other social networks,
Yeah.
and mostly YouTube because
Yes.
you have probably the most followed battle reports channel about the heresy and maybe Warhammer in general. I don't follow 40K at all, so I don't know about the numbers, etc. But well, I mean, if you are into heresy, well, you probably already knew about SN, but yeah, those guys do really very cool battle reports, and you also have a Patreon.
Yes.
But we will discuss what,
More later on.
yeah, what people can find
Perfect.
on those apps, platform, etc. And just on the side of the screen, well, it might not be up to date because I took the screenshot a while ago, but that's what you can find on basically SN Instagram.
Instagram. Hmm.
But before we talk about all the SN stuff, battle reports, the team, no retreats, run tournament events, we need to get to know a bit more about you, Stephen. So can you share with us the decade you were born?
Yeah, so I'm born in 1986. So I'm 37 now,
Yeah,
38. I'm gonna be 39.
yeah,
So yeah.
you're still
So
pretty young too. Yeah,
yeah, I'm pretty young.
another young lad.
I'm not feeling young anymore, but we are. I guess we are young if we're still in our 30s. So yeah, 38. I've been into the hobby since I was 8.
Ooh.
So I was there from the very start,
Mhm.
in the first editions of Fantasy and 40K. Yeah, it's been a long ride.
Yeah. And did you have some breaks along the way or?
Yeah, I had a break. I think like most people have when you're in your teens and you think drinking and going out and being with your friends is the
Uh-uh.
cool thing. You always have a break. I never stopped completely. I always used to carry on buying the likes of the White Dwarf magazine,
Yeah.
but I wasn't active. I wasn't painting. I wasn't building. I wasn't playing. But
Mm.
there was always something at the back of my head that I never completely stopped. I always used to buy the magazines or read up on what the latest was. But obviously, I did
Mm.
step back a bit in for a few years at least. I would say maybe 4 or 5 years
Yeah.
between the age of maybe 16 to 22, 23.
Mm.
I did step back a bit.
Yeah, so that's yeah, probably about 25 years in the
Yeah.
hobby. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's
Mhm.
something. Um, so if you were in the hobby for so long, what do you like the most about the hobby?
To be honest, I think that the social aspect of it, I think that's a really important part of the hobby. I think now, after so many years, especially after the 10 years of SN,
Mm.
having known and met so many wonderful people from all around the world, which I now call friends. They're
Mm.
not even people I know anymore. They're good friends. I get invited over to their house, to their parties, to their weddings. So they've become really good friends, and I think that for me has been the most important parts of my hobby
Mm.
life. Meeting people, enjoying people, getting those experiences and those really good memories that I'll be fond of for all my life.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I totally agree with that. Is there something that you dislike about the hobby?
Dislike. I think a lot of people think the same. I think like there's nothing I dislike about the hobby in general when we come to being a hobbyist. Like there's nothing I dislike from the building, from the playing, from the
Mm.
learning the game. I think that's something that's very cool, and I enjoy those. If there's something I dislike, I think there's a part of social media where as everything else, there is like a nasty side of social media,
Mm.
and I think that's one of the things that I dislike the most. I think there's a lot of people that just use social media platform to just bring negativity, and I think the social media platforms were not built for that. They were built to actually build positivity. So to see negativity in those social medias when it comes to the hobby and when it comes to Warhammer in general, that's probably one of the things that I dislike the most.
Yeah, and probably about that, maybe we can say a word about what happened during
Yeah.
well, it was in July, June, in
July, yeah, beginning of
June,
July.
July. For the release of the new edition of Horus Heresy. So basically, if you lived in a cave back in those days, let me just sum it up for you. So we had some leaks ahead of the release of the new rules and libers and etc. And some of the leakers spent a quite amount of time writing on those PDF and each page of those leaks from the rules, some pretty nasty things, in particular about you, Stephen.
Yes, yeah,
But
mostly about me.
mostly about you. Yeah, there were also some a guy from the Panoptica team, I guess. But yeah, so
Yeah,
well, that was like pretty fucked up, actually. And
yes.
yeah, I think that yeah, that's pretty connected to what you were just
Yeah,
talking
what I've just said. Yeah,
about.
so just for people to be aware, like you've said, they splattered my name all over some leaks, and I'm actually going to say what exactly happened. I think what I think exactly happened. So when the leak started to be posted, I think it was posted mostly on Reddit and on Discord, two
Yeah.
platforms that I'm never in. Like
Mm.
I've been rarely in any of both. We even closed our Discord down, our specific SN Discord, because we just didn't use it because it's a platform that we basically
Yeah.
didn't use or disliked. Reddit the same. I've hardly been in there. I think other team members have used the platform before because look, there's always good things about it, right?
Mm.
There's always the good side about it. And when the leaks started happening, and had a lot of people messaging me saying like, "Oh, the leaks are happening." They're on Discord. They're on the Heresy Discord. So
Mhm.
I obviously don't use Discord. I don't have the app. I don't have anything to do with Discord. And I really wanted, so I'd had the rules for about a month with the
Yeah.
NDA with Game Workshop.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see what people were thinking about
Mm.
the rules. I wanted to see what the first impressions were. So I basically made an account or went into the Discord
Mm.
itself. And at that point, when I went in and I said like hi or something on the main page, um, at that point, apparently, someone from Games Workshop had messaged the leaker privately saying that he had to stop.
Yeah.
Now, there's two things about this. First of all,
Ah,
Games Workshop has have confirmed that they never sent any messages, that they're not even like, why would they do that? They would never
mm,
send a message on Discord to someone to stop. And so that was the first part. The second part was that there was a miscommunication of, at the moment I went in, someone got a message
yeah,
that to stop
yeah.
thinking, and they put one on one together. Obviously, I'm probably one of the main faces of Heresy and an NDA with Games Workshop, and basically the leaker
Mm,
thought that maybe it was me that had told them
to
that it
stop,
was there
yeah.
was yeah,
Mm,
or something, so something along that
mm,
happened. And I think apart from that, I think then as people started seeing my name on a lot of the PDFs and a lot of the screen, I think the people started thinking that I was one of the rules writers as well.
oh,
um
yeah, I saw that you wrote something like that, and I was like, yeah, that how
yeah,
come
I think
somebody
people's
can ever
yeah
think that? Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
think people started thinking, oh, so the rules are bad because of this Pardo guy. So, and I think just,
right.
word of mouth, and it's just started to like
Mm,
expand into nonsense and into lies. And obviously it got to a point where
yeah,
it was pretty bad.
but that's the dark side of social networks, actually.
Exactly.
That
That's the dark side of social media. Yeah.
yeah, it
There's
starts
there's a
from
lot of good stuff.
yeah.
There's a lot of
Mm, oh yeah.
positivity. There's a lot
Mm,
of good stuff. And but obviously if we're talking about what I dislike the most, I think it's the social aspects on
mm.
social media of the negative side.
Yeah, right. And maybe if you want to talk about that too, because I was talking about that with Steph and Will, who invited me to their podcast, which is a Hobby Time podcast, and we
Mhm,
were chatting about the social networks, etc., and in particular about, I mean, the professional from the hobby professionals who use social networks as a platform to promote their work, etc. And
mhm,
they were saying that, yeah, they like, for example, what Rob from Meadows Miniature is doing. Is a very talented artist, etc.
mhm.
And they told me, yeah, but I, I see new posts from him every day, and it keeps on coming and coming. And yeah, they were quite, they were feeling exhausted by seeing those posts every day, even if it is new stuff. And what I said was, yeah, I can totally understand that Rob is posting constantly because you have to.
You have
If
to.
you don't do that, the algorithm will forget about you. And if
Yeah.
you get your living from those social networks, the the dark side is also, well, in my humble opinion, because I'm not in that category, is that you have to keep pushing content over and over and over and over every day, whether on Instagram, YouTube, etc. Or the algorithm that you can't control at all will forget about you, and then your numbers will go down. And I think that's a lot of pressure on, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, guys like you and yeah,
Mhm.
other professionals in the hobby. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
pretty good.
I understand all points, right? I think that if there's people that go onto their social media and they constantly see the same people on and again,
Mm.
I could understand from a point of view that it does become a bit of a pain. But that again, it's important for us. This is why we do it. We need to always be pushing content out, always have our name
Mm.
out. And as a content creator and as a YouTuber, you need
Mm.
to have that. You need to
Yeah.
constantly be there, constantly be active, make sure that people are seeing content, especially if you have a
Mm.
platform like members or
Yeah.
Patreon. You
Mm.
want to be active, and you want to get, obviously, if your sole vision is to be full time, be part time, you
Mm.
need to get those people in. And so it is important, but obviously I understand all points of views, like
Yeah.
always. And yeah, and a shout out to Rob. If you haven't already, check out Rob Meadows Miniatures on social media. He is an incredible painter, a very good friend of the channel, and he's painting a lot of our armies up at the moment for Heresy. So shout out to him, and make sure you check his stuff out.
Right. Well, he actually was in the second episode
Oh, cool.
of the series, and yeah, he's really yeah, he looks like a really sweet and sweet guy
Yeah,
and
lovely.
wonderful
We've
painter.
become
Yeah.
we've become really good friends.
Yeah.
So he's a really good guy.
Yeah. Well, sorry, just a small word about the miniatures on the left.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure about who the painter is, but those guys are obviously taken from a battle reports from SN.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, it's not a secret that you you're playing with like very beautiful
Yeah.
miniatures,
Hmm.
often commissions armies like from Meadows Miniatures.
Yep.
I think you no, I don't want to say something silly, but you work with several studios around the world,
Yep.
and you have an also an in-house painter, or you
We've got two in-house painters. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, but those
yeah,
miniatures are really
yeah we
always a good fit for the heresy, actually.
Yeah, we always, that was our vision. Our vision was to always try and put on the highest value of content we can put out, being armies, being terrain, being the game itself. And we always like we were always I've always grown up seeing the likes of Games Workshop put their posters up, put their books up, sell your magazines. Everything looks really, really nice, and I've always tried to follow up with that specifically to have a high end
Mm.
battle report. So from everything from the terrain to the armies,
Yeah,
I always try and push for it to look as nice as possible.
yeah, but I think that seeing your well, obviously you are not the only battle rhetoric channel about heresy, but you from the very beginning you well, I think I saw you my first SN battle reports maybe well, I don't know, 2 years ago, maybe 1 year and a
Okay.
half ago, 2 years ago. And instantly you feel that, yeah, those guys are really passionate about it. There's nothing like, for terrain, like you can have the occasional old stuff like the green
Mats or something.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, but no, everything was really well set up and very clean and well, clean for the heresy, I mean. But yeah, you can tell that quality
Big
is a
factor.
major focus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, do you have a favorite legion?
Tough question. I when you sent me the questions, I was like, "Oof, do I have?" So I've always been, since a very young age, I've always been an Imperial Fist fan. When I moved on to 40K and I read about the Crimson Fist, so Rin's World, I fell in love with the Crimson Fist as well. Obviously, they're all linked. It's a successor chapter from the
Hmm.
Imperial Fists. So if I had to choose, I would go for Imperial Fists. I think I've always liked the narrative for them, the way they fighting or they have yeah, they fight in battles, the way they use their combat abilities. And every story I've read, every novel I've read, I've always thought if I have to choose a legion, it would be the Imperial Fists.
Okay, so I picked the right guy
Yeah, you picked
on this
exactly
side. Yeah,
right,
right.
exactly right.
And actually, that's one of the latest MK2 with the disintegrator.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
disintegrator. Yeah, the
yeah,
new disintegrators.
yeah. Those guys
Yeah,
are really, yeah, they are very cool miniatures.
yeah.
And do you have a favorite character from the Heresy
So I've got
lore?
many, but if I have to choose my favorite faction being Imperial Fists, I think that it's probably Pollux, just because he's
Mm.
later on the first chapter master of the Crimson Fists.
Hmm.
So I love that guy. I think from a very young age, when you read his books and you follow up his first story of how him and his brother were becoming obviously proper Marines, and I think his brother was called Elias, and Elias actually died for him at one point.
Okay.
And so yeah, there's a really nice backstory from where he begins to where he finishes.
Mm.
So let's go for him.
Okay.
I think he's a very cool character to choose in the Horus Heresy range.
Yeah, that's a solid pick. Yeah,
Yeah.
even if he's an Imperial Fist, but yeah, we are not.
Yeah.
I don't judge anyone. Uh,
Yeah.
so- and do you have a favorite battle or favorite piece of lore from the area?
It's there's a lot, right? There's a lot. It all
Oh yeah.
depends. Like how you're feeling that day, what you're reading. I think like as many people know it, I think Isfan 5 is just a very pinnacle point in the heresy, where it features like the proper betrayal. And yeah, I think if I had to choose again, I think that's just a very pinnacle point, a very true origin of the Horus Heresy. And if I had to choose a piece for the law, it would be that.
Right. Yeah, it's the the drama is intense on
Yeah,
Fan
exactly,
5.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's the core of the Horus Heresy.
Yeah.
So
Uh, if well, I mean, basically, you are seeing the Rock of Gibraltar on a regular basis. Can you imagine what kind of heresy scene would take place on the top of the Rock of Gibraltar?
what do you mean?
Like, I
Like
mean, yeah, I don't know, like a desperate battle, like loyalists
uh, if it
fighting for their
happened
lives with a thunder
if
rock
it
landing
if
on
it
the top.
happened in Rock, so look, the Rock has a lot of like history already. It was built as a fortress
Yeah.
where no one could basically withstand it. It took the test of time through many battles from the First World War to the Second World War to the Great Siege, where the Spanish tried to invade
Mhm.
it back again, and it's come through every single war it has been. It was very difficult. It was a key location in many wars. So I think that a siege would basically fit it perfectly because obviously the narrative and the history of the Great Siege Battle was very important. So yeah, I see it as again as a used as a siege for a big battle.
Cool. So obviously you're playing a lot, the game. What do you enjoy the most about the game?
Are we talking third edition or Horus Heresy in general, as in the
Well, yeah. I mean,
Horus
let's
Heresy?
yeah, let's talk about areas in general, but free
Yeah.
for now in
Uh,
particular. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that if we talk about the game in general and I enjoy it because it still is a war game. So I fell in love with Warhammer and I fell in love with the game
Mm,
because I wanted to play a war game. I wanted to play on a battlefield that gave me the immersion of me being on the battlefield as a commander and it looking like a proper battle.
mm,
And Horus Heresy has stayed with that. You're still playing a war game. Sadly, I left 40K because it had lost the aesthetic of it
mm,
being a war game. It's just a complete different tactical element, and it just doesn't feel like a war game anymore.
mm.
Especially when you see all these battlefields with the NDF and the V-shaped
Yeah.
ruins. It just doesn't feel. I want a game where I can field different types of terrain and trees and ruins, and it just feels like a war game. And that's exactly what I enjoy the most about Horus Heresy.
Right. And when specifically about the rules, because yeah, we didn't talk everything through about the rules when we discussed the leak, but obviously, just to say a word about the leaks, the rules that we saw back then, even if it wasn't the whole set of rules, from the first read, you could tell that the rules were going to be really more streamlined, that the game pace will be improved, etc. So obviously the rules they looked very good on paper. I finally managed to play a game last week of 3.0, and yeah, actually, it's very good.
Yes. So this is why I was trying to push people because obviously it was a very bumpy ride when third edition pushed through
Mm.
and people saw that it had lost flavor, which in some parts it has, where weapon options had gone and the
Yeah.
game was a complete overhaul. It's a complete different game, even though
Mhm.
the core mechanics are still there. It still is a complete different game, and the important bit that when I saw the rules and when the Games Workshop obviously gave it to us, it was scary at the beginning because there's
Mm.
a lot of changes. It's very different. We had gone from a 10-year edition to a 3-year
Yeah.
edition and suddenly change again, right? So I knew that the community would be backlash.
Mm.
But the more we played, the more we realized how good the game was. And this
Mm.
is why on many occasions, on many of my live streams, on many of my videos, I was telling people, try the game. I know people were complaining, people were angry, but I was constantly saying, play the game. Some people thought it was negative of me saying that, but it was just the truth. It was
Mm.
the truth. The more I played, the more I realized that the rules, the core rules that they had changed, was for the better. I
Yeah.
think that the things that they have removed were
Mm.
not needed, and the things that they've added have made the game better.
Yeah.
So all in all, and there is, look, a game is never going to be perfect. An edition is never going to be perfect. There will always be things that we don't like and things that need to be ruled out or changed or FAQ'd, and that's always going to be a thing.
Mm.
So, but the core mechanic, I think they've done a really good job. I think the whole design team from Games Workshop and anybody else that has been a playtester has done a really good job.
Yeah. Totally. I second that because yeah, it's a relief that you don't have to re-roll stuff all the time, etc. We
Yeah,
just roll dice once
yeah.
and for all, and that's just
Yeah,
that. Just that. It's
yeah.
very
There's a
totally.
lot. Everything that was bad moments or everything that was clanky has just been removed.
Yeah.
There is some
Exactly.
there is some still some clanky bits here and there, but
Yeah.
most of it has been removed.
But I mean, we are talking about a Games Workshop game, so
Exactly.
yeah, it's
It's
good.
normal.
Yeah, we know them for decades. It's like that, but yeah.
Yeah.
And do you think that maybe there is still some frustrating bit within the rule set or?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think that terrain rules need to
Oh
be
yeah,
looked upon.
yeah.
I think there's a lot of misinterpretation,
Mm,
and I think and I hope that Games Workshop come out and clear that out because a lot of people there's just confusion everywhere.
yeah,
It's not really well written. I don't think that it needed to change how the
mm,
rules
yeah,
how terrain worked, but if there is something that's frustrating, is basically the rule set for the game. I think that's my only negative bit.
mm,
Obviously, there's some bits here and there that I still dislike, but mostly it is that it is the terrain rules for sure. And you can already hear I've heard of some events, big events that have happened already in UK, and it's been really streamlined except for the terrain.
yeah.
There's been a lot of problems with the terrain, so hopefully we'll get an FAQ or Games
But
Workshop will preview us with how the terrain is supposed to work.
but you came up with some house rules
Yeah,
about terrain, and I saw that some events were already
already using it.
using
Yeah,
those. And yeah, actually, I read those, and I think that they are better than
yeah.
the new rules.
We
But yeah, but the fact that you're using well, the new rules forced us to use areas of terrain
yeah,
just for
yeah,
cover sale, etc. And well, I mean, in my within my community, we didn't play like that at all. We were using true line of sight and
yes.
cover saves
How
and
it
just
should be.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's, um, I mean, psychologically, it's a big change. So yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's
Mm,
even us. We were still like we were playing games for a long time before we realized about the
mm,
true line of sight. So now
mm,
we just put a PDF. It feels like a lot of people thought that it was massive changes in our PDF, but it's really subtle
yeah.
changes here and there. And I think more than anything, it's how we explain stuff with
Mhm.
photos and of what is and isn't in cover. That's actually worked well, and it's been great. Like I know some events in Germany and Spain. An event in America was used this weekend as well.
Mhm.
So it's good to see the house rules being used globally. At the
Yeah.
moment, I think it's a good thing because I think it's actually needed.
Mm. But just for the record, you were at the in 2.0. You thought about the artificer armor rule about limit
Mhm.
just no more artificer saves more than the initiative,
Initiative.
and
Mhm.
that one was used like commonly
Everywhere.
yeah everywhere because yeah those artificer armor they were like a cancer for
Disgusting.
the yeah yeah
Yeah, it was awful, wasn't it?
it
Yeah,
was
again, it's great when obviously it's very difficult for us to come to the conclusion to put house rules out
yeah.
because obviously there's a lot of people that don't like house rules, and as a channel, as a big channel, it's not something that we want to do
Mm-mm.
because obviously there's people that don't like the house rules, so that will maybe stop people from watching. But when we put these house rules in, it's basically all about making the game play better,
Mm-mm.
and that's basically why we do them. We play test it. We play 3 to 4 games a week So
Yeah.
I think we're a good crowd to actually know if the house rules are needed or not. So that's why we do it. Obviously, they don't have to be used,
Mm.
but again, it's great to see the likes of the artificial armor being used internationally, worldwide, basically.
Yeah. So I have a very important question next. Do you
Okay.
keep track of how many times you stole the initiative?
I don't, but I should, because it's seriously, it's like more than I steal more than don't. It's crazy. I was invited to Tabletop Tactics for a
Yeah.
game,
Mm.
a month just when release was scheduled, and I
Mhm.
even stole the initiative there as well. So I promise I don't microwave my dice, but it's crazy the amount of times I steal the initiative.
Yeah, I have to say that it's really like amazing. Like you
Yeah,
know
it's crazy.
that I mean people who play against you when you when they are playing first, they know that they are deploying to play second.
Defensive,
Yeah.
defensive. Yeah.
Is there a strong heresy community in your area?
So there's about I would say there's about maybe six heresy players with armies and that play
Mhm.
regularly. There is a lot of people interested in this edition though. So
Mhm.
we are going to have some practice games and we're going to have some
Mhm.
demos
Yeah.
for people to hop on. I think there's a lot of people from 40K and from Old World and Sigma that really like the look of it,
Mhm.
and so we're going to do some demo games for them to see if they want to hop on. But we're a very small
Mhm.
place. We are 30,000 in total.
Yeah.
So to have six Horus Heresy players with armies that play regularly, I think that's a good number anyway. But I think there's about maybe 10 people that have played Heresy in
Mhm.
Gibraltar before.
Yeah.
So it's quite small compared to obviously the likes of UK and other parts of Europe.
Yeah. Right. Um, so you played Warhammer back in the 90s, so you are used to play with metal minis, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you knew and you owned some of those. Did you ever throw metal mini at a
No. Never.
no, never?
I've never actually got to that point of being that frustrated of kicking a table or kicking a chair.
Okay.
But yeah, those they were pewter, weren't they? They were pewter.
Ah,
The metal, they were called pewter. That's what they were called. You really need to wash your hands after because they said
yeah.
it was quite the chemicals weren't very good. But I've never done it. I've never done it. You think about doing it sometimes, but no, I've never done it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that proves that you're a good man. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just before we change the slide, just a word about the Ultramarines suzerains on the side.
Yeah.
So those were painted by Raptor Imperialis. So
Yeah, my good
just
friend Babs
to,
Imperialis.
yeah, to
Yeah,
to to give him the credits he deserves. And those ones were painted for you, for the SN channel, and
yeah,
just to, I mean, bring a little testimony of the general hobby level of the army you are using in your battle reports.
yeah. It's great. So yeah, so Raptor Imperialis, um, Raptor Imperialis did the favor. So Adam from Full Circle Hobby actually painted the Ultramarines, the whole Ultramarines,
Mm.
and he hasn't had a lot of time to paint extra. So obviously Raptor Imperialis himself offered to paint a couple of units, and I'm very thankful for that. So Kieran, thank you very much.
So we talked about you, but now let's talk about, I mean, SN. Uh, so basically, in a nutshell, what's SN and how did you put that together?
So SN actually stands for Stephen and Nick. So Stephen is my first name, and Nick is my one of my good friends' first name. This was started by well, it was actually quite funny because it started by myself and SN at the very start. If you are a true follower of SN, you would actually remember that it was started as SP Battle Reports. So that's how it started.
Mm.
Stephen Pardo, those were basically my initials. That was only there for a few basically weeks before we changed to SN. And I'll quickly just say the story of what actually happened. So I'll tell you the story of how it all happened. So I don't know if you remember at this point, and I don't know how it was in France, but when the White Dwarf stopped being a white dwarf and changed to visions. I don't know if you remember. It
Mm.
changed to visions and it stopped doing battle reports. It stopped doing battle reports in the magazine.
Yeah.
And I really love those battle reports. And I'm like, well, if they're stopping, I'm going to do them. So that's where I started. I had some really nice armies. I had some really nice terrain. I was good at photography, so I started doing some photography battle reports, and that's where I started. Now, my vision was to do like write-ups and stuff. So I played this game with my friend Nick. It was Space Marines, Raptors from the Badab War against the Chaos Demons. And I took some photos. I did this write-up. I did this page called SP Battle Reports,
Mm-hmm.
and I posted the first battle report, and it was crazy. I remember that night I went to the cinema to watch a movie. 2.5 hours. I come back. The page is already on like 250 followers, and I'm like, wow, this is looking really really good. So again, the weeks passed. I did another one. We slowly, we very fastly started getting a lot of followers and a lot of comments, and I'm like, oh, this. I had a feeling that this was going to go a
Mm.
very very long way, and at that point, my friend Nick was the guy that was basically playing with me and having the other nice armies, and I said, Nick, now that it's early days, why don't we change the name to SN? Are both of our initials, especially if you're going to be doing this with me throughout. And he agreed. So I think it was 3 weeks into SP, we changed
Mm.
to SN. So the channel actually started as SN. It started as a page on Facebook, and now 10 years later, here we are. We've been 5 or 6 years on YouTube,
Mm.
and the rest is we've just been on social media here and there. So that's basically a short story of how SN started.
Yeah, that's cool. So it's you this year, it's been 10 years? Yeah.
This year's 11 years now.
11.
So
Yeah, okay. Last year.
last year was 10 years. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, in
Yeah,
the
it's good.
hobby universe, it's yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lifetime.
It's
Yeah.
big. It's a lifetime. It is a lifetime. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great, great memories.
Can you say a word because you are not alone, obviously, today in the SN team. Can you say maybe a quick word about every other member of the
Yeah,
team?
of course. So as you know, we've been 11 years now active, and we've had a lot of help
Mm.
from a lot of present members and past members. We've got members, or we've got team members that have been with us from the very very start. We've got some that just haven't been able.
Yeah.
Life has got in the way. They've moved away from Gibraltar.
Mm.
Just stop playing the hobby. But if it wasn't for those people that were with us from the very start, we wouldn't be where we are.
Mm.
So I'm very thankful to those people that did help out at any stage. Now we are a team of six. We've got myself, we've got Jose, Norris and
Mm.
Crusoe, who is a beautiful painter. We've got Benji, Standfast
Yeah.
Studios, who again
Mm.
is one of our inside painters, again an incredible painter. We've got Kieran, our newest member and young member, who helps me out on a daily basis. And then there's a lot of people like behind the scenes as well.
Yeah.
We've got Shaggy, who's been there with us for a long, long time. He normally takes care of our events and does a lot of the tech work behind the scenes.
Mhm.
We've got Chris, who's been there from the very start. Again, he's one of those that helps us out with events and helps us out with the back end of our Patreon. We've got Stephen Garcia as well there, who just helps us out wherever he can. Obviously, life gets in the way. He's a busy man,
Mhm.
and so yeah, it is a very big team. And we're very thankful to have it. And obviously, many of you know DC. Sadly, he had to move back to the UK because of work just last year. But look, we still helps out a lot in the back end. He comes
Mhm.
over for events. He's coming over in a couple of weeks' time now to play at the studio again. So yeah, it's a big team, and now we could say that we're an international team just because DC is now living over there in the UK. So he still promotes, he still helps. We're in contact on a daily basis. So yeah, it's a big team.
Mm. Yeah, I was very, very sad when
And
DC
DC
left.
left.
Yeah, because actually it was my favorite as a World Bearers fan, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, he's sadly missed. Yeah.
Yes, he
But
is. He is very missed. He is very
yeah.
missed.
So that's a huge team. I mean, producing content for so much time and I mean, adjusting to social medias, various platforms, producing video content, etc. It's a lot of work. Did you have any prior experience in all those areas?
So I wouldn't say I was so my background has always been entertainment in the sense like I used to dance for competitively
Mhm.
with my wife. So we've always been in the entertainment side. We've always seen what cameras, how cameras work, how
Mhm.
photography works, and I always got into photography. I think I've always been good at photography. I've had a good eye, so that's helped. Social media wise, I've always been interested. I've always been promoting clubs and other bits and bobs here
Mhm.
and there. So that really helped. And I am part time as SN. I don't do this full time, and my other job is graphic design. So obviously,
Yeah.
putting all those things together
Okay.
has obviously helped for the push to where
Mm.
we are now as SN. So yeah, I think a bit of everything here and there has actually
Mhm.
helped to where we are now.
But still, it's a major time and investment.
Yeah, poof, it's a
Yeah.
lot of time. So
Mm.
now it's what time is it? It's nearly 11 o'clock at night here, or
Yeah.
and in France, right? And
Yeah.
in France, same time
Yeah.
zone.
Mm.
And when we finish this, I'll basically go back to editing for a few hours. So
Yeah.
normally my evenings don't finish till about 1 o'clock in the morning, just because it's the only time when you have two jobs. You have SED, you do events, you are a father as well. You just
Mm.
don't have time. So you need to look for these hours to try and fit in as much as possible.
Yeah. Not enough hours
Not
in
enough hours in the day.
yeah.
Not enough hours in the day.
So we talked about SN. So you went on YouTube, but at first you were doing well. What I discovered the channel like maybe yeah maybe one year and a half ago. You are
Mm-hmm.
doing 40K battle reports.
Mm-hmm.
You are doing heresy battle reports, but
And
you
old
are
world.
sorry.
And old world as well.
And you started doing all world battle reports when the game
Launched.
was launched, and then you chose to go full time about heresy. Why? How? So.
So that was a massive decision. Like, I don't think people understand just how big of a decision that was for us. It was actually quite scary. It was weeks and months of deliberation and
Mhm.
thinking, is this the right path to do?
Mhm.
And it was very risky. It could either go very wrong or very right. And we've been lucky enough to have the support, and it's actually gone quite well for us. Obviously,
Mhm.
what people need to understand is that SN was built mostly with 40K.
Yeah.
So to suddenly have 30,000 subscribers that you've built more or less mostly for 40K,
Mhm.
suddenly tell them we're not going to do 40K anymore. We're just going to do Heresy. So it was a massive decision, scary decision. In the end, it's worked out quite well. Obviously, we had a lot of people unsubscribe and unfollow us, and obviously, it's their duty to do if they're not interested in Horus Heresy. Why are you still going to be part of the channel? But it was time. Like, it was a pinnacle point where, for a few factors. So as I've already mentioned, I'm part-time. I can't do this full time. I
Mhm.
don't have enough hours in the day to do everything. And when you're doing three different systems, all with three different rule sets,
Mhm.
you just don't have time to do all that. 40K was moving at a very fast pace. We had to invest a lot of money in different armies for three
Yeah.
different games,
Mhm.
and it was just too much. So we sat down and we said, look, we don't have hours, we don't have the money, we don't have the income to do all these three games. What's the game where we are enjoying the most? What's the game that basically fills our hearts for
Mhm.
hobby? And everybody said Heresy. I think
Ah, yeah.
SN was
Okay.
built for Heresy. I think SN actually did Heresy at the very start as well when we were doing picture-based battle reports.
Mm,
Sadly, we had to make a decision at one point of just doing 40k, again because of time. We never stopped playing Heresy. We always played behind the scenes, but we never recorded Heresy
mm,
just because of time. And 40k is in the place where I just don't enjoy it. I think it's too competitive. So between not having the time, between not liking 40k and the rule set, it was the perfect decision and the
mm.
perfect time to say we're just going to do Heresy. And here we are. We've now 50,000 subscribers. So we've built a community, an extra community of 20,000 subscribers since that decision.
Yeah.
So we are doing very, very well, to be
Well,
honest, as a decision that
yeah.
was very scary to do.
But I mean, that speaks to the quality of your content for first. And also, I think that the new edition is a pretty good thing for you guys because
Yeah.
it seems to be bringing a lot of people from 40k to Heresy, the
Mhm.
new set of rules. But actually, it was yeah. I mean, I can understand it was a really scary decision because within the OB community, Heresy is still quite niche. I mean,
Yes.
the OB is, well, Warhammer OB. Well,
Mhm.
Warhammer is, I mean, 80, 19% of the OB worldwide. But within Warhammer, 40K and Sigma
Sigma.
are 70% of the Warhammer hobby. So the rest, including Heresy, is really still niche.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, that
Yeah.
was
That
yeah, a tough call.
That
But
was that that was our scariest bit because, like you say, like heresy is just a small
mm,
fragment of what 40k was, right?
mm, mm,
So that was a scary part as well. Is there enough people to have a channel
yeah.
where it's only for heresy? So that was the other scary bit of just how much bigger 40k and Sigma and
Mm,
Old World together were to
mm,
only having a very niche heresy game.
mm. So no second thoughts about it.
No second thoughts. I'm really enjoying it. Another thing is that when you are recording it and when you're doing it as a channel more than just going and playing with friends, you need to enjoy what you're doing. You need to enjoy the work you are doing. And there was many times we were going to the studio, we were playing the likes of Old World, we were playing the likes of 40k and not really enjoying it.
Mm,
I remember being nervous and anxious on a day where I knew that I was going to record 40k without really
uh,
wanting to record 40k. So right now I'm going, I'm playing Heresy. I'm enjoying playing the game. I
mm.
enjoy the game. I enjoy how everything looks. So no second, thankfully, no second thoughts.
No, that's cool. Yeah. Uh, for those who don't know about like your different platforms, so we spoke about YouTube. You also have a Patreon. And
Mhm.
how do you articulate and create content for those different platforms?
Yeah. So our main content provider is YouTube, right? We
Mhm.
have all our battle reports are all on YouTube. We use Facebook and social media just to show
Yeah,
behind the scenes
yeah.
photos or our armies or behind the scenes of what the battles are going to be and
Mhm.
etc. etc. But our sole platform is YouTube, where our content drives through, right? So
Mhm.
battle reports, tacticas,
Yeah,
army reviews, army showcases. Now, in YouTube itself, we have a platform which is called a members platform.
yeah.
So if you want extra content, you basically become a member of our channel. That's what helps us keep the lights on, helps us survive, helps us pay the bills. So big, very, very thankful to everybody that is an SM Plus member and helps us keep the lights on here in the studio. So yeah, basically what we give is we basically do a battle report every week for free for people to
Mhm.
view. And then we have a second battle report on SM Plus for people that are members. Now, there was a lot of people at one point saying, we want to support you more. Is there any way to
Mhm.
support you more? Because £4.99 for us is nothing, and we can give you more. So we started pushing for Patreon, which is a second platform for people that want to support us even more. So there's perks there where you can get your name on the studio wall. You can join us on our global WhatsApp community, which we've got a lot of people from all around the world with multiple groups there. We talk about and chat about the Horus Heresy, and you can talk to the team specifically there on some groups. So yeah, there's a lot of perks there. There's a monthly prize giving for anybody that's a Patreon. We just gave away the Saturnine box. The month before, we gave out a Primark of your choice. So there's a lot of perks, and it's basically for people that want to support us more. They're already an SM Plus member on YouTube, and they just want to support the channel more. So that's where Patreon comes into play.
So to be clear, that's two different platforms, and well, either you are on Patreon for the Patreon stuff, or you are on YouTube for the
or both, but they're not interlinked. So don't get confused. If you're a patron, you won't be able to see the battle reports just because you can't link YouTube up with Patreon. So it's just an extra. If you want to support us extra and get like things like early bird tickets for our events, basically that's the place to be.
Right. So we talked about a lot about battle reports, but yeah, just a word because you also do some tacticals. Wow, tacticals are in-depth reviews of some legions, some rules, etc. But the main stuff, I mean, the stuff that you are famous for, are the battle reports. So, according to you, what makes a good battle report?
A good battle report, I think, it has to be a close game. I think that one of the most important factors, I think, in a battle report is that it is a close game. And I think that there has to be a really good connection between the two players. I think there has to be enjoyment. There has to be, both players need to bring. So our aim when we're recording a battle report is our aim is for the battle report to feel as if you are in the room with us. That's our vision when we record a battle report. And I think if we are ticking the box for that, that is a good battle report. If you are laughing with us, if you're giggling with us, if you are going through the emotions as we are, I think that is what a good battle report makes. If I think the terrain and the armies come as a second part, and I think it's mostly atmosphere, both players or more, because we're now doing battle reports with more than two players in the studio. Basically bring to the tabletop. I think that's the atmosphere is the most important bit from the battle reports. I think that's what makes a good battle reports.
Cool. I like when people tease each other too,
Exactly. Banter is key. Banter is key.
Yeah. And specifically with the 3.0, the new challenges rules.
Yes.
Yeah, this is
so good.
This is peak for that. Yeah.
So good.
How do you pick the armies that you put in the SN collection? I mean, not about the commission services, etc., but how do you build the list, or just you go looking out for miniatures?
So is this for building a list for a report or just for the collection of the studio?
Well, both. I mean, like
both.
For reports.
So the collection of the studio, the word bearers are now being painted, and when those are painted, we've actually finished the whole collection. So we will have an army, every single army in the Horus Heresy range. So every legion, every army will have 4,000 points of every legion minimum. So when it comes to the armies itself for the collection of the studio, we try and change things up as much as possible. So every army, we try and have unique units. We try and have the specific units that the legions do bring, and those we always like to have those characters or those special characters. And obviously, every army we try and build it a certain way for them to play differently to others. Obviously, it is Marines versus Marines. So if everything is the same, it does basically become a bit sad to play. So we try and make things different. And when we talk for battle reports, we try and like circle them. So like Ultramarines will play, then Blood Angels will play. So we know we have like every single army coming out every few weeks. Basically, that's how we select armies for both the studio and battle reports.
Right. Yeah, I was really sad to read about what happened to your World Bearers project.
Well, yeah, let's
And
not go into that, but that's very, very bad.
but yeah, and yeah, I'm glad that you found someone to take care of that. And obviously, well, I'm not the most talented painter on earth, but I would have done that just for free for you if you
Yeah,
found
yeah,
nobody else, because yeah,
yeah.
it was
He's
really
actually from he's
such a
actually from
shame.
From France, so
Yeah, I saw
good.
that. Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
saw that.
and
Yeah.
we've spoken about the bad things of the community, but when we talk about the good things, there's a lot. So when we posted about the massive backlash or the massive problem we've had for
Mm,
the word bearers, the community just came into
yeah.
like into us, and we saw the true potential of how good the community could be.
Mm,
We had hundreds, I'm telling you, hundreds of messages of people saying, we're a commission, a
mm,
studio, we can help you out, we can give you a discount. People telling me that they would paint for free. It was amazing to see, especially after so much negativity the month before.
yeah.
We really saw what the community does actually have as
Mm.
a good side, you know. So it was great to see.
Yeah, that actually the community at its very heart is really,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good one. Mm. Did you expect to become one of the most familiar faces in the heresy community?
At the very start, obviously, you don't realize just how big your channel or your team can get, right? You start like every other person would start. You know, you start a at nothing, and you just push and push and try and work as hard as possible, and get to where your vision is. And I think we're getting there. I think we are at a very, very big. I think we're probably the biggest heresy channel at the moment. We've just hit 50,000 subscribers as a
Wow.
heresy channel just a few days ago, and it's great to see. You know, um, we are probably the face of heresy when it comes to Games Workshop as a channel. I think we're one
Mm.
of the only ones under an NDA, so it's good and bad, obviously, as you've seen in the last couple of months. But it's great. Like it's still surreal. Like when I went to UK a few weeks ago, and I entered the Games Workshop store, and everybody knows you, but you don't know them. They're like, "Hey, Pardo," they're calling you by your name. They're saying how cool this game was and how much they followed you, and it's just surreal. It's a really
Yeah,
nice
that's cool.
feeling, but it's really weird because, like, my wife was with me and she was like, "What's going on? How do they know who you are?" You know. But look, it's good. It means you're doing a good thing when people are recognizing you in the shops and in the
But
streets, and it's a great feeling.
but does your wife know that you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She knows. She knows. She knows. She knows. She knows. Obviously, how much time and effort we put into it, and
Yeah,
and
I'm
uh,
sure.
she helps out a lot. Yeah.
I'm sure she witnessed that on a first-hand basis.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly. Every day.
so you talked about that. So SN isn't a full-time job. You work during the day, but how do you keep the work-life balance
It's
on
it's it's
track?
very it's very difficult to be honest. It's a bit chaotic. I'm not gonna lie. Like I try and have a balance, but it's very difficult because there's days you have um, said you're gonna do one thing, but you're just tired, or things
Mm,
just pop up and you can't. So I'll just explain exactly what's happening now. So right now I'm part time with SN. I'm self-employed with SN, and then I'm employed by someone else as a graphic designer for a business here in Gibraltar. So I work some days for them, and then I've got some days just reserved for
mm,
SN, where I try to push as much as possible, especially recordings, which we do twice a week.
yeah.
So basically, there I try and wake up as early as possible. I try to get my training in, which I enjoy a lot. I do a lot of martial arts, so I try to push that and get the time to do that. Obviously, I'm a daddy now, I'm a father, which I really enjoy. So I always try to get some time for my family, and just like I already stated, just find time, find those hours. And sadly, sometimes it's late nights, but you just have to do them if you want to carry on. So, like I've already
Mm.
stated, it's 11 o'clock at night. I still have about 2 hours of editing, so I'm looking at about 1 a.m. finish, and then I have to wake up at 7. So I'm sleeping, and not sleeping a lot of hours, but basically that's until I don't reach to a stage where I can do this full time.
Mm.
I basically have to trot along with this, and luckily enough, I have a really good team around me that help me out as much as possible whenever they can.
Mm. Right. So we talked about the channel, the battle report, the Patreon, etc. But there's one big topic that is left is the no retreat events.
Yeah.
Can you explain what it is about and what is its philosophy?
So No Retreat was started 10 years ago. This is why it's our 10th anniversary for No Retreat. It was started a year after the channel was done. Again, a little story of how it started. So we are very close to Spain. We're basically
Mhm.
attached to Spain. So most of the events that I do go, used to go, were in Spain. And can I hear you? Can hear me, right? Still?
Yeah, perfectly.
And I was going to a lot of events where I wasn't enjoying the tables. They were all
Mm.
unpainted. People were taking models without painting or without even being built. It was crazy. It was like a moment where I was losing all my mojo for the
Mm.
hobby because of it. So I said, look, I'm going to take it upon myself to do an event of how I envision events should be. Gibraltar sells by itself. It's a beautiful country.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place. And one thing led to another, and I started a no retreats event, which I wanted to change things up. I wanted it to be different. I
Mhm.
wanted it to be an international event. So I tried out an application-based event where
Mhm.
people apply. They send in army photos. They send in a description of their hobby background, and we basically pick what we think are the best applicants for the event. Now, we used to pick them. Now we have a panel of judges because it's just so difficult for us to do that we have 4 judges for international judges
Mm.
every single event where the applications go straight into. We don't even look at them now. We just send them straight to the judges for them to basically choose who the lucky applicants
Mhm.
for the event are. And yeah, my philosophy was that to build an event where there was people from all around the world, the best hobbyists around with the best armies, and just have a hobby weekend like none other
Mm.
that people will enjoy and talk about for basically the rest of their life. That was my philosophy and my vision.
Right. So obviously it works because every people who I talked to who went to no retreat spoke wonders about it. So what is the secret recipe?
Secret recipe. I think it's a lot of hard work. It's like the Horus Heresy event is like months of work. It's like months and months of hard work. It's a narrative event. We go above and beyond to cater for the players themselves.
Mm.
We want to make sure that the players basically experience a 5-star event. We're there for the players, and we try and make it as interesting as possible. It's not only about the event. We arrange dinners, we arrange nights out, tourist attractions. We have the likes of Barry from Anfarius on
Mm.
Instagram to have sculpting courses. It's just a really all-rounded hobby weekend, and I think the cool thing about it is that we have players from all around the world. I think it's been like 46 countries being
Yeah.
represented already at No Retreats.
Mm.
And it's great because you have people from all around the world speaking different languages, but everybody knows the same language, which is the hobby, right? And it's just a brilliant event all round because just seeing the faces of the people enjoying it is worth every single minute we put into it.
Well, yeah. And I mean, those guys are the best ambassadors you can have. So,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, because
Exactly.
yeah,
Mm.
because I had Brian from Canada,
Ryan Scott. Yeah,
Brian
lovely
Scott.
guy. Love him,
Yeah.
love him.
What's his name? Welshi. Uh,
Welsh. Oh yeah, no retreat champion. He actually won it last
yeah,
time.
absolutely.
You also had Max, didn't you have
I
Max?
had Max,
Max,
Black
yeah.
Ribbing. Yeah,
Yeah, I saw
absolutely.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm well probably going to have well I don't want to disclose too much because well people agree to do the interview and then
Yeah,
yeah
of course.
it can get complicated but maybe a Geoff from
Oh yeah,
Holland, yeah,
Josh. Yeah.
and I don't know if he went to no retreat but tomorrow morning I have a painted teeth.
Ah, cool. Yeah, he did come. He did
Yeah.
come. Yeah, yeah.
And Saga or Callum from Saga.
Callum's been on already. I've seen
Yeah.
his. No.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so every one of
Yeah, a lot
those.
of no retreat participants. Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of
actually.
which are now really good friends. So we
Yeah.
speak regularly. So that's what I love the most. That
Mm.
when they leave, they don't just leave. Obviously, we become friends, and they're part of the hobby in SN forever now.
Yeah. No, that's cool. That's cool. And
Yeah,
come on. Yeah, I don't pick them because they went to no retreat. So I want to to be clear
yeah,
about that. But it happens that they all went and yeah, they are very happy about that.
good.
Uh, so yeah, so I was going to ask how much work it is to put together the event, but I guess it's months and months of preparation and organization. But in connection with the new edition, I have a specific question: is that you also organize a competitive event of
Mhm.
Heresy, the Grand Tournament,
Yeah,
something like that, yeah. And
Gibraltar Grand Tournament. Yeah.
Gibraltar Grand Tournament. And well, I mean, the second edition of Heresy was very unbalanced, well,
Mhm.
between legions, rules, loyalists, traitors, etc. But with 3.0 being a bit more streamlined, I mean, specific legion units have been quite of nerfed,
Yeah.
yeah,
Toned down.
toned down pretty hard. So, do you think that the game is more suitable for competitive play now?
So I think right now it's a bit too early to
Yeah.
know. I
Mhm.
think that there's still people that haven't played. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people that still haven't had the time to play. I think the edition has come out in a time frame where there's a lot of people on holiday. Kids are on holiday. They're not at school. So I think we'll have a better idea of where the edition stands in the next few months from now to November. Because I think now events will start playing, more people will start playing and have more time to play. Now, from my experience and what I've played, I think that it's a more balanced game
Yeah.
in general. As for the second edition competitive heresy event, which is called the Gibraltar Grand Tournament,
Mm.
we did have to implement a lot of house rules and a lot of
Yeah.
rulings
Mm.
of what they could take, how many they could
Yeah.
take, etc., etc.
Mm.
This year for third edition, we haven't put any restrictions because one, we don't think they're needed right now, and
Mm.
second, it is too early to put restrictions on.
Mm.
So it's more like a trial and error event of seeing how it goes before you actually do
Mm.
something. So
Mm.
yeah, answering your question, I think that it is a bit more balanced and suitable
Mm.
for a tournament
Yeah.
than second edition.
Mm. And what were the feedback of the players of the last Grand Tournament?
Oh, they loved it.
Yeah.
So they absolutely loved it. We had good hopes for it, but it surpassed it. Like it seriously surpassed
Okay.
our hopes, and I think that everybody was really really happy, very keen on coming back. We upped the tickets to 80, I think it was,
Mm.
and we sold out in seconds. Basically, it's sold out. We've got, I think, 42 people on the reserve list, meaning that we could do an
Yeah.
120 player event. So that speaks for itself, right?
Yeah.
I think word of mouth is very important,
Mm.
and there was a lot of people that helped with that word of mouth of coming over. I think there was a lot of people that was scared of playing a tournament.
Mm.
It's not something that you see in Horus Heresy a lot.
No.
So I think that the first batch of people enjoying it so much and then having word of mouth from them
Mm.
has made the event what it is now.
Yeah. Yeah, because on top of that, most people are from England, I guess. most of the players.
Most of them are from
And
England.
so
Yeah,
you have to make them fly down
yeah, it's
to
important.
Gibraltar.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so that yeah, I mean,
So
it really speaks.
it's costly events
Yeah.
because there's a lot of traveling to get to
Mm.
Gibraltar. You
Yeah,
can't
'cause-
really get a car or
mm.
train, so it does become quite expensive. So to see so many people
Yeah.
internationally fly over is great to see.
Mm. Well, I mean, I don't want to be mean about like English people, but it's their special luck to get a bit of sun during the year too. So,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
well,
They treat it as a holiday as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, sorry about that. Do you have any specific projects about the future of SN that you might want to share, or maybe it's top secret and
So there's an event that's top secret. We can't really talk about it right now because there's a lot of things that we haven't confirmed completely.
Mhm.
But there will be an interesting event soon happening, and we do want to do as well some smaller events here and there,
Mm.
catering for 1 day events for people
Yeah.
to come over and just have a few games instead of three or two or three
Mhm.
games. But there is an event we are trying to put together for maybe a year and a half. So there's still some time, but sadly I can't say much about it because we need to confirm some details first.
Yeah.
But you'll surely hear about it when we do confirm.
Right. So more events. Yeah, that's
Yes,
cool.
more events.
Uh, so just do you have a favorite model from the Heresy range?
Favorite model? Oh, there's too many. There's too many. Favorite model. You know what? I really like the Sicarian tank.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I really enjoy the Sicarian tank, especially when there's like a nice loadout on top. But
Which
yeah,
one?
I think aesthetically as a tank, I really like the Sicarian tank. When I see it, I feel heresy. I feel like I want to do it. And so yeah, I'm gonna say my favorite model Horus Heresy is the Sicarian tank.
And which turret?
Turrets, game wise, right now, I think they're all pretty decent. Looks wise, I'm gonna go for the I'm gonna go for the classic autocannon, Sicarian
Oh yeah.
autocannon,
Okay.
as a look. Yeah.
Okay. I thought you would have said like maybe Punisher or Omega,
Maybe
but
Punisher. Yeah, the
yeah.
Punisher's pretty good. They're all cool, to be honest.
No, they're all cool.
I
Yeah.
think it also depends like what scheme they're painted. It
Hmm.
suits different legions more. So yeah, all comes down to
Hmm.
that.
And if you could create one non-existing model from the Heresy?
Curve Allen from the character for the Iron
Mhm.
Warriors. It's my first Legion, the
Cool.
Legion I started. It's a character.
Ah,
Yeah,
oh,
Curve Allen.
okay. So
Yeah.
you are an Imperial Fist, but an
And
Iron
Iron Warriors
Warrior
as
at
well. But
heart.
I've always played loyalist Iron Warriors. This is Curb Allen is actually a loyalist
Yeah.
character.
Mm.
He's never had a model. There's always been official art. There has been official
Mhm.
art for him. There's never been a model for him. So if I had to choose, fingers crossed, we will maybe see him later on in one of the campaign books. That would be pretty
Well,
exciting for me.
we'll see. So we are reaching the end of the interview. Now it's time for I mean the silly questions.
The
Uh,
best part.
would you rather go on a trip in a warp with Erebus or Engron?
It's a tough question. I wouldn't even want to go on the warp. That's to start off with.
Yeah,
If I had to
right.
choose, I think I'd go with Angron. If we were friends, he was taking me as a friend, I would go with Angron just because I would feel safer with him.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
but if I had the option of not going with any of the two, I would basically do that.
Okay. Do you enjoy any kind of physical activity, sport?
Yeah, I try and train as much as possible. I've always done MMA. I
Oh,
used to
okay.
dance as a young age, and that transitioned into MMA. So yeah, I still do a lot of martial arts. I try and do a lot of boxing. I try to do a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is my favorite. And obviously, whenever I do have time, I'll go to the gym to lift up some weights.
All right. Say, okay. So yeah, not enough hours in a day to do all
No,
that.
that's why I need to wake up like super early if I want to get those hours in. Especially for trading, I try and go as early as possible.
Right. Do you have any favorite food?
Italian,
Oh, okay.
for sure. If I
Okay.
have to choose, it'll always be pizza and pasta before anything else.
Okay. And for drink?
Drink, to be honest, I drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
Uh, it maybe isn't my favorite because it's tasteless. But yeah, I think like if it's a day-to-day basis, it will be some water. But if I had to choose something with a taste, maybe an Aquarius, Aquarius,
Oh
orange or
yeah.
Aquarius, yeah.
Is that
That's quite
still
quite
the,
refreshing.
oh yeah, I used to drink that, but when I was a kid, so
Ah,
yeah,
yeah,
a long time
still
ago.
around. It's still around.
All right. So now you have to pick. It's would you prefer to try and lift The Rock? I mean Dwayne Johnson, the wrestler,
Okay.
the actor, or The Rock of Gibraltar?
I would definitely try and pick The Rock, Dwayne
Right.
Johnson, even
Yeah.
though I probably couldn't because he must weigh like 120 kilos, it's more than the Rock of Gibraltar, just because you're not lifting that, that's for sure. And even not even if you try, that's too much weight.
Okay. So now that's a very tricky one. Uh, would you prefer always playing and winning, but playing traitors, or always losing, but always playing loyalists?
Always losing and playing loyalists.
Yeah,
I
right.
never, I don't mind at all losing. I like if I've enjoyed the game, seriously. If you give me like if you tell me now you're gonna enjoy all your games but lose them all, I would sign the paper. I'll sign the paper. I know like you should always play the game, and I think most people play the game to win because that's the purpose, right? Why are you playing a game and why are you playing a mission when you are not there to win? But honestly, if I had to choose, I would always go for having a good game before
Mm,
winning. So
yeah,
if I lose every game, but I'm playing loyalists, which I'm loyalist as heart, I would choose that.
right. Now that's a good pick. Would you rather use Phosphex or Graviton?
Uh, Phosphex has been my. So I hate Phosphex. Phosphex in second edition and first edition was horrible. Graviton is quite exciting. It's very anti-armor. So just because I hated when I went against Phosphex, I used to hate it. So just because of that, I'm going for Graviton. Just because the hate from the Phosphex, I'll
Phosphex.
go for Graviton. Definitely go for Graviton.
That's a nice pick. So we are done with the questions. Just a last few selection of some picks. Just to illustrate, so on the side, the Thousand Sounds are, if I'm correct, one of
Rob.
your latest addition to your collections.
Yep, that's our latest at the moment. The word bearers are currently being painted, but
Yeah.
that's the latest army we have at the moment. Yeah, by
And
Rob
they
from Metis Miniatures.
right, and they are featured in your latest battle report, I guess.
Yes, they are right because the latest barrier report is Thousand Suns versus Mechanicum.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've just appeared. Yeah,
So
on SM Plus. So you have to be an SM Plus member to
yeah.
watch it.
And so those were painted by Meadows
Rob.
Miniatures, if
Yeah,
I'm correct, yeah. And on the other side, so that's we you mentioned his name earlier.
Jose.
This one is from Norrison or Fosse.
Ocean Crusade. Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
yeah, this guy has a thing for the Raven Guard, and yeah, he's a
He's
voice.
crazy. He
Yeah.
paints so well. The crazy part about Jose is that the speed he paints, like you have no idea how fast and
Hmm.
how good he paints. Like one of his dreadnoughts he painted like in a day, and you see it, and it feels like a golden demon winner. And you're
Mm.
like, how have you done that in like 6 hours? He's talented. He's such a nice guy, and he's very very talented. As you can see, there's the Saturine Praetor just looks spectacular.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very very good.
And well, I guess he's used to take part in some of the battle reports on
Yeah,
the
yeah, he
channel too.
comes
Yeah.
on. He comes
Yeah.
on occasionally. Obviously, he lives about an hour and a half from here, so he lives in Fuengirola in Spain. He is Spanish,
Mm-hmm.
but he comes over as much as possible to play with me and obviously help me out with a painting. He's just had a baby boy, so
Oh,
he's just become a dad. So we won't be seeing him for a few weeks at least, but he's enjoying fatherhood. So yeah, we'll see him in about a month's time. I think he'll be back. Obviously, he's on daddy duties now.
well, congratulations to the parents and
Yeah,
a long life to the baby. That's cool.
yes, for sure. A beautiful baby boy.
Well, speaking of babies, so those are two Night Lords contenders, and yeah, those bad guys were yeah spectacular too. But just the last pick is taken from
Last no retreats.
Last No Retreat. So those are the participants, and you can tell by the smile on the faces that those guys had a very great weekend. So. And actually, I think it also speaks for what you said in the beginning of this interview, and what a lot of the other hobbies that I had in the series told me is that, yeah, they love the game, they love the lore of the heresy, they love throwing dice, etc. But at the end of the day, what they really enjoy and like is the social connection, the
Aspect.
social
Yeah,
networking, meeting other people, speaking about the hobby, but not just the hobby, making friends, etc. And I mean, that is what it's all about in the end.
yeah,
So
definitely. I totally agree. It's about that. Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
I think that's the best commercial that you can do for for one of
okay.
your event.
If
Just
if yeah, if someone leaves my event and shakes my hand and says like, "Wow, I've really enjoyed myself," that for me is a win in its entirety. That's basically the winner for me, right? So it's very important. I think the social aspect is just an incredible part of the community, and meeting people and meeting them again as friends is just great to see.
mm. Well, thank you, Steven,
No problem.
for your time. Do you have any last remark or comment?
Oh, just remember, I'm a YouTuber as well. So if you have liked what you've seen, make sure you click the subscribe button. It just takes a couple of seconds and it does a lot for the channel. So make sure that just subscribe, like, and subscribe, and leave a comment for the algorithm. That's the important bit for new channels like this one. So, and again, thank you very much for your time for having me on the channel. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, my pleasure too. Well, see you everyone, and see you soon for another episode of Beyond the Airbrush. Bye.
Bye.